I'm Todd Miller, Chair of the Metal Construction Association. Welcome to the 2012 Metal Construction Association Chairman's Awards Program. This awards program recognizes outstanding building projects which involve MCA member companies. The Chairman's Awards have been established to honor innovation and creativity while showcasing how metal building materials help achieve exceptional building design. Considered for these awards each year are projects submitted to Metal Architecture Magazine's annual Design Awards program. Metal Architecture Magazine is a critical partner in holding this annual recognition program. A judges panel consisting of experienced architects and industry professionals choose these annual awards from among the Metal Architecture Magazine entries. One of the things that is very striking as we review these winning entries is the wide variety of projects involved. We saw entries ranging from very contemporary and cutting-edge designs to more traditional designs, as well as historical properties that want to take advantage of the technologies offered today by metal in construction. Metal construction is a vibrant and robust industry. Our products offer huge design flexibility. They cut across a full range of metals, product profiles, colors, and natural finishes. As you can see from our award-winning projects this year, metal allows architects and designers to not only let their creative imaginations loose, but also to create buildings that are sustainable and energy efficient. The Chairman's Awards allow MCA member manufacturers to recognize and promote the exemplary application of their products. Being recognized by your peers and colleagues in this way is a huge accomplishment for all the involved companies.
This year's judges also recognize the growth of the industry and that technology has played a role in how metal is currently being used and might be used in future designs.
As we view this during the projects, it's not about necessarily just the amount of metal being used in the project, but the creative use of it, the innovative approaches to using metal kind of catch us by surprise a little. That's some of the things that I think is a common theme you see in the winners year after year is creative uses of the materials. Biggest change that we've seen over the last, say, 20 years has been the evolution of wall cladding systems for buildings, especially as we've gotten into more sustainable practices. Metals become much more attractive, often recycled products, integrated with insulation systems. It's very efficient, cost-effective often enough. The ability to manipulate the material, to make it, to bend it, to create some unique character with it that didn't used to be possible. It used to be pretty much straightforward flat panels. Now we're able to do some really amazing things with the material.
With technology, and the technology mostly in the manufacturing areas has been very beneficial. It's allowed us as architects to do things with metal that we hadn't done before. It was strictly relegated to roofing and some siding, and now we can bend all sorts of shapes, and I think computer technology has really made a big difference on where we can use the material and how we can use the material.
Impressed but not surprised to see that there were a lot of the projects that were shown were LEED certified or pursuing LEED certification. It just makes sense to use metal when you're trying to do that. Almost every project we work on is LEED certified. We usually use a lot of insulated metal panel in order to achieve LEED certifications just because of its high thermal R values and high recycling content within the product. Overall, I was very impressed.
This year's designs are in 9 categories: municipal, education, one for primary and secondary schools, and one for colleges and universities; institutional, commercial, industrial, roofing, residential, honorable mention, and of course, overall excellence. Each project has distinctive aspects, but the common thread is the application of metal in different shapes, forms, and colors, and the choice of metal for its sustainable qualities. Our first award is for the Port Pavilion on Broadway Pier, San Diego, California. This municipal project takes a clever twist on a traditional structure by using new colors and applications.
The Port Pavilion and the pier in San Diego was a great example of using pretty conventional metal materials, a corrugated panel that you see often in industrial uses, and applying it in a really creative way with color, with changes in texture and direction, the use of the louvers, and then the architecture with the sawtooth roofs and the clerestories was really handled beautifully. It's a very festive building. The storefront and curtain wall, the entrance is handled very, very nicely. I thought that was a very successful piece of architecture.
They had a 96-year-old pier that was rebuilt, and I think metal was a very decent and very appropriate application for that project, being that it had to be light in construction and very inexpensive in building cost.
The 52,000 square foot structure adds a passenger facility and space for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Services to an existing pier. Sustainability was a driving force on the project, which is expected to receive the USGBC's LEED Silver certification. Metal was selected for its light weight, forgiving nature to seismic movement, time-saving installation, recycled content, recyclability, and low maintenance. The striking visual appearance is achieved with color-shifting coatings on the metal wall panels. The wall and roof coatings also meet cool roof requirements. Our next award for primary and secondary education design highlights metal's fantastic shapeability. The main feature of the Cincinnati Public School System's Eric Kunzel Center for Arts and Education is its urban curve. It reflects the school's dynamic education program and provides a striking contrast to the masonry forms of this building and those around it. Contrasting this are large stainless steel shingles in polished and matte finishes and pre-weathered zinc wall cladding. This 250,000 square foot facility is the school system's first to have private donor funding.
The Cincinnati school, the K-12 School for the Fine Arts, is a great example of use of multiple types of metal materials that are really integrated rather beautifully. It's also some technologies that are relatively new in terms of tiling a wall with zinc cladding, finding some creative ways to do some alternative textures with diagonal banding. The diagonal grid that is on the auditorium component of the building is really creative, and it's all detailed, in this case, really very beautifully.
Our next project takes an out-of-the-box approach to recycling. The fabulous Student Center at Monterey Technical University in Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico, wins the award for the education category at colleges and universities. This colorful open structure uses standard 40-foot recycled steel containers alternately stacked to create voids and cantilevered areas. These form open spaces where students can meet and relax. The containers are 80% of the structure and are complemented by composite aluminum panels in a variety of forms and colors. The project's enormous amount of creativity and attention to sustainability also reflect the university's philosophy.
They were using, as a part of the design, shipping containers integrated into the building and really managed it beautifully, folded them in. That was really, we didn't realize immediately looking at the images that they were a part of the project, but they were actually handled really beautifully as a creative way of doing something sustainable, activating a building or a product, kind of an alternative use for it that would otherwise find its way to the dump. Instead, it was reused as part of a school building.
Our institutional award goes to Temple Sinai in Oakland, California. The design uses pigmento green zinc for aesthetic appeal, long-term durability, and the ability to shape it into walls that wrap and protect, reminiscent of the texture and draping of prayer shawls. The zinc clads the new chapel, community area, and library, and connects them to the existing temple, social hall, and new classroom wing. The stone-clad wall of the circulation spine evokes the Western Wall of Jerusalem, with a similar purpose of connecting the past and the present.
The Temple Sinai really stood out of the other ones due to the use of the green zinc and connecting all three volumes within the architecture of the building.
The award for our commercial industrial category goes to the Whole Foods Market in Oklahoma City. This 47,000 square foot upscale retailer is the anchor in a high-end mixed-use development. It illustrates Whole Foods' commitment to sustainability with the use of metal for its high recycled content, recyclability, and low maintenance. Metal is featured at the entrance in a zinc-clad canopy, in automated louver panels that protect the entrance from the intense Oklahoma sun, and a rooftop mechanical screen.
The use of metal was very, very unique. They perforated it, then they shaped it, and they were using that to, protecting them from the sun. I would like to go shop there. Very, very unique project. We were very, very happy with it, and it was pretty easy to look at it and stand out from its competition.
We now shift from contemporary to historical, with a look at how metal fits the needs of older treasured buildings. The 2012 Metal Roofing Award goes to New Holy Cross Church of Christ in Trenton, New Jersey. This 150-year-old church had a complete facelift, but its deteriorating slate roof was weakening the building's performance and posing a danger to its interior. Our award-winning manufacturer solved the problem by replacing the old slate roof with metal shingles that are lighter in weight and highly durable. The metal shingles clearly mimic and improve the original look of the historic church.
I think the New Holy Cross Church is a significant project too, because it is using a metal roofing product to replace a slate roof that was the technology 100 years ago. So I find that fascinating that the industry has picked up a niche for replacement materials, to take something that was originally built with stone and now press it out of metal and achieve a pretty good replication of a product that was around 100 years ago.
In the residential category, judges chose the McElrath residence in Chelsea, Michigan. It's another example of how metal blends old and new. The original house, built in 1857, was in poor condition structurally and was not weather-tight. The interior was renovated and additions were made with an agrarian profile. Metal was chosen to achieve a permanent weather-tight exterior while offering a fresh, lively exterior that reflects the home's historic value. Metal is also brought into the interior for kitchen counters and areas where durable surfaces were needed. The California ISO headquarters in Folsom, California receives this year's Honorable Mention Award.
The California ISO building, I think, is a very well-rounded project and has taken metal and used it on nearly every aspect of the building. I think they've done it successfully, and the whole building in general is very well done.
Because of their overall use of metal throughout the building, in my opinion, it really helped them achieve their LEED Platinum certification. Using recycled content and that metal on the facade and shading where needed to be shaded on the facade, being in California. It was just overall like a nice looking project.
The ISO headquarters creates a secure and sustainable structure that serves as a true employee amenity while promoting ISO's public outreach efforts. Metal was a perfect fit to meet the building's goals of durability, longevity, and inherent energy efficiency of systems. Now for the main attraction, MCA's 2012 Chairman's Award for Overall Excellence with the Use of Metal goes to the fabulous Chihuahua Businessmen's Foundation in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. The 4 unique 40-foot-high aluminum pillars contain offices that are designed with a similarity to the stone heads on Easter Island that watch over and protect the community. The crisp folds of aluminum create a mosaic-like pattern that changes in color and intensity as sunlight moves across the building during the day. At night, color-changing lights illuminate the facades to continue the movement of light across the angles of the structure.
What was fascinating was that they were able to use metal to represent what the architect dreamed as rock. Overall, the Chihuahua Businessmen Foundation building really incorporated metal to a different level. In the wintertime, it has a different white tone, gray tone than in the summer when the sun is beating on it. And we just thought it was great, it was wonderful.
The multifaceted panels were prefabricated and attached to structural supports on the ground. Then, each complete module was lifted by crane into its final position. This reduced construction time and cost, and the risk of working on scaffolding with aluminum panels folded in several directions. Fabricating the panels in large pieces also reduced waste to less than 3%. We hope you enjoyed seeing and learning about these wonderful projects. Congratulations to all who contributed to these eye-catching buildings that are great examples of the use of metal in construction.